I really should have the camera running every time I do anything, because the things that get missed are the stuff going up in flames. Okay, I was listening. It plays a tone, and that's the tone that you have to hear. And then, oh, let me turn it a little more. I think my battery is, oh, I gotta go in the other direction. There we go. That's pretty good torque. That's full blast, but I think my batteries are kind of low. Point being, I'm back to square one finally. This is a Hobby King 30 amp electronic controller, sensorless controller. And what that means, you saw that I had to start it by hand because it doesn't start up itself. And just off the top here, nickel metal hydride 5 to 12 in series. So I've got 8 in series, which gives me 10 volts. 12, be around 12 volts, a little more than 12 volts, just like the lithium says 2 to 4 in series, 12 volts max. Anyway, start off with, I put Hall sensors on this motor. I put them in the center of the coils here, and I had done that previously with the first wooden motor I built. You can see that video. Built it all with hand tools. It was kind of funky, but it ran good, but I was using a controller off a bicycle for it. What I have here, this little $10 controller that I had purchased off AliExpress. It's supposed to be a 350 watt, 36 volt max, and let me tell you what, I hooked it up with the Hall sensors and this 36 volt battery, and it ran great. And when I flipped the little reverse switch, it went the opposite direction. It started by itself. Everything worked great the first time. Of course, I didn't have the camera running. And the second time I ran it, it was kind of funky. It didn't run in reverse. It only ran one direction. And I thought that was kind of weird. Then the third time I ran it, I was showing it to my wife, and again it ran one direction, but it ran good. Then the fourth time I ran it, the little shunt here started glowing red, and I was like, you know, the power was turned all the way down, and I didn't know what to do, so I grabbed the negative strap to pull it out, and I'm lucky that this wasn't any hotter. It melted all the wire here as I pulled it off, but it didn't burn my hands. And I haven't tried running it again, but I don't think there'd be much success considering how red hot that was. I have another one, but I don't think I'm going to go with the 36 volts next time. I think I'm going to keep it down lower, but one of the reviews I read, or somebody talking about this, I can't remember, there's some YouTubes about these, but they run pre-made motors, not experimental motors. But they said if you have the Halls hooked up wrong, that it'll burn up the motor. But apparently it ran good, so I don't think I had any problems with the way it was hooked up. My battery is for a hedge trimmer, and that's another story. But then I went to use it the other day, and it doesn't work. I went to charge it, and it was flashing red. That means that the battery's bad. and when you press on the little battery tester, no lights. But if I check the voltage, you see here it's got positive and negative, and if I check the voltage there, it reads 36 volts. So I know the batteries are good, but both the trimmer and the charger uses these connections in here. They don't use these outside connections. So I need to take this apart and take a look at it to see what the deal is. Maybe there's a BMS in it that's blown, I don't know. But the Torx tool I have is fat. It fits in these. I can get these out, but it won't fit in these holes. And I don't know if it's the same size as these. I hope it is. I ordered a Torx screwdriver that's thin, will fit in there. Oops, killed my coffee. So that's to come. But what I wanted to talk about was this electronic speed controller, and how funny I went around and around with this thing for about a week, couldn't get it to work. And the reason was that I had it turned all the way to high. The way these work, and this video was supposed to be about this, the way these work, if you turn it to high, the instructions, I read the instructions like 4 times before it sunk in. It tells you to set these. You hold the throttle high, and well, it doesn't say you hold the throttle high. It says hold the throttle in the up position. They're assuming you've got a joystick like an airplane, and it says hold it high, plug in the power, and it will go through a pattern of beeps. And in the user manual, it has all these different patterns of beeps, and when you hit the beep that you want, you turn it all the way down to low. Okay, and what finally dawned on me is I had it turned up to high, and that pattern of beeps I didn't recognize. I was expecting the first set of beeps, which I don't think you can hear it. It does a dun 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 dee, and then it's ready to go. So I need to do a video on just the beeps alone. Once I figured out that I had it in the full throttle instead of the low, then everything worked after that. I set it back to its factory defaults using that. So again, alright, I've got another controller. I've got to wire it up, and today I've got another motor. This motor has smaller magnets. It has twice as many magnets. I have it all hooked up here. I'm going to put it on the sensorless controller first and test it out. I've got Hall transistors in here. Test them out. That's for another video. So there we are, back to square one, folks.